Weapons are kind of their own characters sometimes. Welcome to our YouTube channel, and today we're counting down our picks for the 20 most iconic, coolest, and badass weapons in movie history. Our countdown includes weapons from movies, Star Trek, Kill Bill, Blade Runner, and more. Number 20. Zorro's Sword. The Mask of Zorro, 1998. The story of Zorro, the Mexican vigilante fighting for the common man, has been adapted to film time and again. In 1998, heartthrob Antonio Banderas donned the vigilante's mask and wielded his sword. Zorro's signature sword in this reboot is a stunning, razor-edged rapier. Zorro's blade is a symbol embodying justice, skill, and rebellion. He uses it to carve his signature Z mark wherever he appears, representing both his victory and his wiliness. With his black and silver blade in hand, Zorro bravely and skillfully cuts through injustice with both finesse and style. Number 19. Noisy Cricket. Men in Black, 1997. The action comedy has been a staple in film for decades, but to some the genre was perfected in the 1990s. Men in Black is an excellent example, and it includes one of the screen's most memorable sci-fi weapons, the noisy cricket. A perfect visual gag. On its face, it's a silly-looking thing about the size of a derringer. Therein lies the secret of its appeal. The noisy cricket has shocking and unexpected power for such a tiny package. Will Smith's Agent J, scoffing at the gun, learns the hard way that he isn't quite ready for the weapon. To be fair, neither were audiences. Number 18. Identity Disc. Tron franchise, 1982. The Tron franchise is based on a fascinating conceit. What if a human being entered the digital world? In that world, a world full of sentient computer programs, what would combat look like? Programs, and erstwhile human programmers, literally fight for their lives with their lives. The identity disc serves as a weapon, data storage device, and a symbol of the user's identity all wrapped in one. It can be thrown and returned like a boomerang, leaving glowing light trails in its wake. The weapon represents the desperation of any being in that situation. It simultaneously acts as a means of aggression and vulnerability. Lose your disc and you won't live long enough to get another. Number 17. The AUT-09. RoboCop franchise, 1987 to 2014. The RoboCop films tell the story of Alex Murphy, a Detroit cop forced to become a cyborg to stay alive. He's a new breed of cop for a city overrun with violence, utilizing one of the coolest guns in movie history. His sidearm is the Auto-9 machine pistol, kept in a retractable holster in Murphy's thigh. Its multiple modes, both single shots and 3-round bursts, make it a versatile sidearm in any situation. It fires all kinds of ammunition, including armor-piercing and explosive rounds, and appears too big for a normal human to wield with one hand. With its sleek, futuristic look and incredible firepower, the Auto-9 sure leaves an impression. Number 16. Medusa's Head. Clash of the Titans, 1981, 2010. Both the original Clash of the Titans and its 2010 reboot tell the tale of Perseus, the mythical hero who saved the city of Argos and its princess. Forced to contend with the wrath of the gods, Perseus must find a weapon to defeat their monster, the invincible Kraken. Perseus seeks out Medusa, a mortal woman turned into a monstrous Gorgon by Athena. The Gorgon is a tricky foe, as meeting her gaze turns the viewer to stone. Using his wits, Perseus decapitates Medusa, taking her head as the ultimate weapon. With it, he is able to turn the giant sea monster into stone. Number 15. Lawgiver Pistol. Judge Dredd, 1995, and Dredd, 2012. In the dystopian future of Mega City 1, crime isn't fought by normal cops. The streets are patrolled by judges, including the infamous Judge Dredd. They are empowered by the law to be judge, jury, and executioner. As such, they wield weapons that act as the futuristic equivalent of an executioner's axe. The Lawgiver is a horrifying amount of power in a small package. It fires a variety of round types, changing ammo with voice commands. Its DNA-coated hand grips make it impossible for anyone but the judge to use the weapon. If someone tried, they would pay the ultimate price. Number 14. Atlantean Sword. Conan the Barbarian, 1982. Older nerds agree. Arnold Schwarzenegger's Conan the Barbarian was the ultimate 1980s sword and sorcery movie. When his people are slaughtered, young Conan is sold into slavery. Years manning a milling wheel gave him a supernatural physique and strength. His days as a pit fighter and wanderer gave him expert training. But it took the accidental discovery of an ancient tomb to find a weapon worthy of him. Created by ancient Atlanteans, the sword's design is a blend of fantasy and ancient craftsmanship. In a film highlighting the importance of good steel from its opening frame, the blade helps Conan to seize his destiny in his own hands. Number 13. Walther PPK. James Bond, franchise, 1962. What makes James Bond a great spy? It's not just his charm, nor is it all the gadgetry he gets from Q. James Bond is a great spy because he adapts to every possible situation. When it comes to combat, Bond has used every gun under the sun. Still, since 1962's Dr. No, the super spy has been synonymous with a single weapon, the Walther PPK. More than any other gun, the Walther PPK has become known as a stylish, sophisticated weapon thanks to its association with 007. It's the perfect sidearm for a spy, compact, easy to conceal, and reliable. Number 12. Exosuits. Edge of Tomorrow, 2014. Edge of Tomorrow begins with humanity in desperate straits. Aliens have landed and conquered all of continental Europe. A D-Day-esque invasion is humanity's last chance against a superior foe. To fight the battle, troopers are equipped with advanced exosuits, which give them enhanced strength, speed, and agility. Unfortunately, without specialized training, the exosuits are essentially mobile coffins. When Tom Cruise steals the alien's ability to relive the day over and over, he is able to pack years of training into a single morning. With the exosuit's HUD helmet, enhanced capabilities, and advanced weapons, he and Emily Blunt managed to save the world. Number 11. Deckard's PKD Blaster. Blade Runner, franchise, 1982. In 1982, Ridley Scott's Blade Runner was one of several pieces of fiction to launch the cyberpunk genre. Taking place in a futuristic and dystopian 2019, the film stars Harrison Ford as a Blade Runner, a cop sent to take out rogue androids. Ford is an iconic actor, starring in an epic sci-fi adventure and so deserves a kick-ass weapon. Deckard's PKD Blaster delivers and is a favorite of sci-fi and movie geeks. A futuristic revolver with a heavy barrel and festooned with LEDs, the PKD looks like it can take out an android without any problem. Number 10. Wizard's Wand. Harry Potter, franchise, 2001-11. In a secret world ruled by wizards, what's possible is limited only by the imagination. But that imagination requires a tool to be made manifest, namely a wand. Wands can take many shapes and sizes. They're personalized objects that reflect both the identity and abilities of their owners. The variety of woods, cores, and designs makes every wand unique, enhancing the sense of individuality and craftsmanship within the wizarding community. The wand famously chooses the wizard, responding to a person's specific magical vibe. Through a wand, anything is possible. It's usually more a tool than a weapon, though in times of war, witches and wizards do what they must to survive. Number 9. Chainsaw Hand. Evil Dead, franchise, 1981. The Evil Dead films are at once scary, hilarious, and action-packed. Ash Williams travels great distances through time and space to fight armies of evil deadites, armed with a custom-built arsenal. Fans of the franchise know well that he likes to use his boomstick, a powerful shotgun, to send zombies back to hell. Ash's most iconic weapon, however, is his chainsaw hand. In Evil Dead 2, after a curse infects his hand, Ash is forced to cut it off to save his own life. He replaces it by modifying a chainsaw as a wearable weapon. Whether zombies, skeletons, or evil witches, no undead minion of the Necronomicon can stand against humanity's greatest champion. Number 8. Sting. The Lord of the Rings, 2001-03, and The Hobbit franchises, 2012-14. Little more than a dagger for a human or elf, Sting is a fearsome short sword for a hobbit. Originally found by Bilbo Baggins' crew of dwarves in a troll horde, the blade was later utilized by his nephew Frodo in his quest to destroy the One Ring. Forged by elves, Sting glows blue in the presence of orcs and goblins. Sting is one of the most famous blades in modern literature, and its iconic status translates perfectly to the silver screen. Like the hobbits who wield it, Sting's diminutive size belies its ability to smite the forces of darkness. Number 7. M41A Pulse Rifle. Aliens, 1986. The xenomorph in the Alien franchise is one of the most dangerous and terrifying villains in movie history. Sigourney Weaver's Ellen Ripley only managed to survive a single xenomorph by tricking it into the vacuum of space. In the 1986 sequel, Aliens, Ripley is recruited to accompany a squad of colonial marines on a rescue mission to a colony built on a nest of xenomorph eggs. The Marines arm her with a cool, futuristic piece of military tech, the M41A Pulse Rifle. The combat rifle uses armor-piercing rounds, crucial for piercing xenomorph carapaces in the middle of a bug hunt. Number 6. Proton Pack. Ghostbusters franchise, 1984. It took the scientific genius of Egon Spengler to figure out how to physically deal with an incorporeal enemy. Created from negative energy, he needed positive particles to neutralize them. Enter the Proton Pack, a wearable cyclotron that creates a pool of positively charged energy. When connected to a launcher, the device can shoot a beam of protons to lasso and debilitate ghosts. Its design, with its vibrant colors and intricate technical gizmos and doodads, is instantly recognizable to Ghostbusters fans. Thanks to the combination of proton packs and ghost traps, supernatural beings can be caught and sequestered, leaving the streets of New York ghoul-free. Number 5. Hattori Hanzo's Katana. Kill Bill 1, 2003, and Kill Bill 2, 2004. On their face, there is nothing outwardly special about Hattori Hanzo's katanas. The first clue the audience gets as to their quality is Beatrix's reaction to being in their presence. As one of the world's deadliest killers, we are forced to defer to her expertise in tools of death. She and her fellow killers treat the blades with unbelievable reverence. Hanzo, named after one of Japan's real-life master swordsmiths, is the greatest craftsman in the world of Kill Bill. His blades are masterworks, each taking a month to forge. The blade he makes for the bride is, by his own admission, the greatest of his works. She proceeds to wield it with deadly efficiency, slicing a bloody swatch through hordes of deadly enemies. Number 4. Phaser. Star Trek franchise, 1966. The original Star Trek series presented a contradiction of sorts. While meant to portray a utopian future human society bent on peace and exploration, it's also an allegory for the Cold War. Whether dealing with warlike Klingons, treacherous Romulans, or other strange threats, Starfleet officers need to be armed. Enter the Hand Phaser, a versatile particle beam weapon. The handheld device has been redesigned time and again over the years, but its functionality has never changed. The phaser is capable of stunning, heating, or disintegrating targets with adjustable settings in 60 years of Star Trek television shows and films. The phaser has consistently protected the United Federation of Planets from harm. Number 3. Indy's Whip. Indiana Jones franchise, 1981. Indiana Jones is one of Harrison Ford's best and most iconic roles. For 4 decades, Indy has searched for and fought to preserve history's greatest treasures. No matter where his travels take him, Indy can never be parted from his trademark fedora and bullwhip. At first blush, the whip seems like a silly weapon to use and, to be fair, Indy is no stranger to firearms. But whether fighting Nazis or traversing jungles, Indy uses a whip to great effect. Ever since stumbling into a train car with an angry lion as a teenager, Indiana Jones decided to take his whip with him wherever and whenever his travels took him. Number 2. Excalibur. Excalibur, 1981, and King Arthur, Legend of the Sword, 2017. Tales of Excalibur, the legendary sword of the fabled King Arthur, have floated around since the 11th century. The legend of Excalibur has grown and spread throughout popular culture, first in Europe and, eventually, throughout the world. Hollywood has adapted Arthur's tale many times over the years. Both Excalibur and King Arthur, Legend of the Sword, lean heavily into the sword's legend. The sword transforms its wielder into an unstoppable warrior, provided they fight for the right cause. Guy Ritchie's adaptation, in particular, emphasized the blade's magical properties, able to slay whole squads of men in mere moments. Number 1. Lightsaber. Star Wars franchise, 1977. It should come as no surprise to anyone that the lightsaber is the most iconic weapon in the history of cinema. Let's face it, a space sword made out of plasma that can deflect laser beams is just cool. Though its wielders are sometimes mocked by the odd scruffy nerf herder who prefers a good blaster, they never seem to mind. The lightsaber is an honorable weapon, wielded by those who can use the Force to deflect ranged attacks. Powered by kyber crystals, lightsabers come in many colors, reflecting the personality and vocation of its Jedi or Sith owner. They can cut through almost anything, and have inspired multiple generations of children to sword fight with cardboard tubes.